Yesterday was Canada Day. Canada Day is July 1st in Canada. This video probably came out a little later. But for those of you who are American, Canada Day is kind of like July 4th for you guys. It's like our equivalent. If you're Australian, it's like Australia Day, which is like January 26th, I think. For all my Australian viewers out there, for some reason, there's a lot of you. And on Canada Day, we do similar things. You know, if you're American, you probably do your big fireworks celebration on the 4th. You do like it's a bit of an event. It's a national holiday. People have the day off, etc. You get the drill. But I don't normally celebrate Canada Day. I'm not saying I'm not patriotic. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of fireworks. I don't go out that much. You know, I'm lame, I guess. But yesterday, one of my friends really wanted to see the fireworks, so I was like, okay, we're gonna go see the fireworks. The fireworks, we were gonna go see them probably around 11 because we both had a commitment that went till 10, so we didn't even get to leave to go to the fireworks in till about 11 because we were about a 30-minute drive away. We had to get there, but whatever. We're committed to going to see the fireworks. I'm not that excited. My friend is super excited. That's just what's happening. So I'm driving down to the fireworks, and when we were coming from like sort of a more rural country area and pulling up into a more like big city downtown vibe. As we were getting further and further into the city, we're crossing through some neighborhoods, we're getting into some more populated areas, and as we get into what is the more populated area, I start noticing a lot of cars. There's a lot of traffic, and in this area, this is like not a super popular area. Like there's a decent amount of people that live there, but it's like not a trafficy area. But for some reason, there were for miles across, there were just cars in piles and piles and piles of cars going down streets that I have never even seen people on before. And not only that, there were people on the street, just walking around through the traffic, running through the cars. It was insane. If you've ever been to university and you've been to homecoming, Hoko, when everyone basically overturns the street, it was kind of like that, but with grown adults who are all, intoxicated as they typically are in these kinds of events. Again, I've never been a Canada Day person. I was not expecting this. I don't think my friend was either, to be honest. We were just going to go see the fireworks because they do them down at the waterfront. And it was going to be a fun thing. But it was a lot of people. But we're still determined to see the fireworks. So we're waiting through all this traffic. We're trying to get down to the waterfront, which again is through the crowds and crowds of people. We probably spent a solid 20 minutes getting down to the waterfront, which on a drive that would normally take 8 from where we made a pit stop. From where the pit stop was, it would probably take us 8 minutes normally. It took us probably an extra 20 minutes to get down there, which is insane on its own right. But on top of that, all the people being there was no parking, because obviously there'd be no parking. There's that many people and that many cars. Why would there be parking? But eventually we found a spot next to a house in it, which I don't honestly know if it was a legal parking spot, because for some reason no one was parking there. But the fact that no one was parking there meant I was just gonna take it. It was kind of concerning, but it's fine. We found a parking spot. We're parking. Now that we've parked, you think, oh, maybe you just chill. You're going to walk down to the waterfront. You're going to see the fireworks. So that's what we did. We walked down to the waterfront. We're ready to see the fireworks. I'm a little on edge because of all the crazy people and traffic, but it's fine. My friend is excited. I'm doing this for them. So we're going down. We walk down to the waterfront. I'm expecting to see some sort of big event, people crowding around, because it's a citywide event. I'm expecting this to be a thing. We get down there and it is completely empty. The only people that are down there are random hicks. I guess that's what you'd call them. They were lighting off fireworks on a dock. They probably had a boat or something. I don't know. But they were holding they were pathetic fireworks though. They weren't exciting in any way, and they were again, they were lighting them off by hand, and it was really weird, and we were is this really the event? There's no one here except for these people, and there was firecrackers going off there. It was a really weird vibe. So we Googled it. It turns out the fireworks were at 10 o'clock, and we got there at 11:30. So we went through all of those crowds of people and piles of cars. to basically just see nothing. But again, I felt bad for my friend because they were really excited to see these fireworks. So I was like, okay, let's go sit in my car. And she was like, yeah, let's go watch them on my YouTube. I'll pull up a YouTube video. It'll be fun. I was like, okay, we'll do that. So we sat in my car. We got a cake at the convenience store. We ended up leaving the convenience store like 2 minutes to closing. They literally turned the lights off as we were exiting. There's like people in there still too. But whatever. We got this like cake for like $10. We were eating it while watching the fireworks. I think they were having a good time, but I still felt kind of bad because they were like really excited to like see the fireworks. I didn't see any fireworks, but whatever. But I was like honestly super tired. It's Canada Day is on a Tuesday this year, and I had work at like 7 in the morning the next day. I just told my friend, hey, I'm really tired. I want to go home. I gotta get up for work. Is it okay if I drop you back off? And they were like, okay, sure, you can drop me back off. But I'm not going to tell you how to get there. I have no sense of direction. I have a flip phone, so using GPS isn't really an option, and I don't know the area well at all. And my friend basically just told me they were going to let me try to find my way to their place blind, from an area I don't go to often, in a city I don't live in. So already I'm like, okay. They thought it was super funny, so I was like, okay, we'll do this. You got, it'd probably take me like maybe an extra 10 minutes, so it's whatever. You seem excited. This thing is fun for you. It's exciting, whatever. I feel bad that they didn't have a good time, or they didn't have as good a time as they were hoping. So I'm like, okay, we'll do this. So we start driving. I'm like literally like looking out the window like this because I genuinely like know no landmarks here. I'm not from this city. But on top of that, I don't come here often to the waterfront. I like didn't even know there was a waterfront until like a month ago. So I'm like squinting at random intersections, trying to like remember the route. I'm like, okay, we at the first intersection. There's a bunch of cars. I was like, I'm pretty sure we turned right to get on here, so I'm gonna turn left to get onto this intersection. So I turn onto this intersection. It's like one of the first ones I see. I'm on this intersection now. By the way, we're losing. That's okay. This is just this game is just a write-off. Anyways, we turn onto this intersection, and I'm just like, I'm like, okay, I'm scouting. I'm like focused. I turn on the intersection. I'm like, okay, this is the right way. I recognize the street name. I'm gonna turn down onto this street. I'm like, I'm like feeling super smart. I'm like, oh my god, I'm unlocking like 100% of my brain capacity right now. I turn onto the next street. I'm like, okay, these are some back roads, but I recognize the street that we're on, and I think it leads in the right direction. So I keep going. Eventually, I end up on a street that I do recognize. I pass by a Dairy Queen I've been to before. I'm like, okay, last time I went on this Dairy Queen, I turned the other way, I'm pretty sure, to get back to where I'm trying to go. So I'm like, okay, I think I'm going the wrong way. So I turn into the Dairy Queen parking lot, turn around, I start going back the other way, the way we came, but instead of turning, I just keep going straight. Eventually, I end up back into a place I have no idea where I am again. I turn at an A&W. In retrospect, the A&W that I was thinking of is one that is in the city that I live in and not the one that they live in. So I basically just turned at a random A&W for no reason. I end up in some rural neighborhoods. I make a couple more turns around thinking that I know where I am. I don't know where I am. And I get to the point where I end up at another intersection. It's leading onto from the like small neighborhood to what seems like a slightly bigger street. And the name of the street, I'm not going to dox myself, but the name of the street is the name of like a city that is sort of nearby to the city that I'm in. It's named after that city. And I was thinking, oh my God, did I just drive all the way into this completely different city, which is in the opposite direction? It's closer to my house than it is to this person's house. So I'm stressing. I'm about to turn onto the street because at least I know where I am in this city. So I turn onto it. I keep going straight. I'm like, where am I? How did I get here? It's so far away. I didn't even realize I was driving for that long. Then I get to an intersection. I finally get to an intersection that's like a busy intersection. I start pulling up. I'm looking around, and I'm realizing that I am back at the waterfront. I turn left, and I'm literally back to the exact same place that I started. I passed by the place that I was parking. I literally went in a full circle for like 20 minutes thinking I knew where I was going the entire time. Turns out I had no idea what was going on. I literally ended up right back where I started. I'm just like, okay. My friend is having a great time. They're laughing. I'm like trying to think of a new plan. I'm listening to a song And in that song, one of the lyrics is keep running after him. Keep running on that treadmill. It's a Ben Platt song. No one knows who that is. But whatever. The song is talking about like going straight ahead. So I'm like, you know what? I'm literally leaving the same place I did last time. I'm like, whatever. I'm just gonna go completely straight in one direction. I'm not gonna turn. And you know what? I don't care where we end up. At this point, I'm like low-key threatening my friend. I'm like, you know what? If we don't end up back at your place, if we end up in the middle of nowhere, I don't care. At this point, I don't care. So I just start driving straight. I start driving straight. First of all, I'm like, I don't know where I am. So I'm driving a little while. I'm not really sure where I'm going. But eventually I start seeing some familiar landmarks. I end up at the train station that's nearby, that like is nearby downtown, an area that I do know sort of well, like the actual downtown. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe actually I do kind of know where I am. I keep going straight. So you know what? I'm not gonna make any turns because clearly that didn't work last time. So I keep going straight despite the fact that I kind of know where I am. I'm like, you know what? I'll just keep going straight. Doesn't matter. I end up getting to more areas that I recognize. I'm like, okay. I'm gonna keep going straight then, I guess. I don't want to make any turns. I don't want to mess anything up. I drive straight the almost entire way back to their place. I had to make one turn. I had to make one left turn to get onto their street before I got to their house. The entire time I just had to go straight. My friend at this point is like hysterical. Like they think this is the funniest thing ever. I am ashamed of myself for like even thinking I have a semblance of understanding of like directionality. That was my Canada day. I basically spent the entire time driving around in either traffic or not knowing where I'm going. My friend had fun. That's the moral of the story. That was the intention. I just... most people's Canada's days was a lot of drinking. That was mine. We're just playing Clash Royale now. That's the end of my story. I'm not good at ending stories. I hope that wasn't a terrible ending. But, like, frankly, like, that's... The look of disappointment that's on my face is the feeling I felt inside. I was so disappointed in myself because, like, literally, the entire time, I needed to make one turn. And I kept on making turns thinking I knew where I was. Like, thinking I was, like, outsmarting the street signs. I was, like, I was going down a street and I saw a bus. And I was like, that bus is coming from the direction I need to go. It wasn't. Like, I thought I was, like, deducing stuff. I ended up just driving around in a circle the entire time. Like, I just feel so stupid. And we didn't even see any fireworks, so it didn't even matter. But this is the first game we're actually, like, kind of winning. So maybe that's a sign that I need to stop talking about this and I need to move on. This deck is... We're not talking about the deck now. This is a Goblin drill deck that I play when I'm usually trying to climb ladder. But I think I got too focused on the story because we've been losing a lot. We won one game. We lost the other game. I also think the matchups haven't been great. Like, Lava Hound is not a good matchup for this deck. I'm going to be honest. This deck I use as, like, a mid-ladder, like, killer deck because it's spam. It's a lot of spam and a lot of mid-ladder players can't deal with, like... How did that hit my Tesla? What the heck? Okay, a lot of mid-ladder players aren't really able to deal with spam very effectively. So it's like, it overwhelms them. It has good defenses because it got Tesla and Firecracker. It has good evolutions. And it, like, ultimately has good counter push potential. So usually it can do really well against, like, mid-ladder players because they overcommit a lot. But again, this is a terrible matchup. I only have 2 cards that do air defense. And like, they're not good at dealing. They don't do a ton of DPS. So honestly, if you face Lava Hound, you can still win if they play badly, but it's not a good matchup. Most of the decks we've been facing, what was the last deck we faced? Now I'm just getting educational on y'all. But yeah, I like the first deck we faced. We can do some little battle log. The last deck we faced was just me playing bad. Like this match here, this one right here in the middle. I just wasn't focused. That's on me. That's a fine matchup. Same with this one as well. But you can see I got a bunch of wins earlier with it against, like, that was against the training guy. But yeah, like this deck, again, I feel like I didn't give it justice. It's a good deck. If you're trying to climb mid ladder, I'd play it. That's all I have to say for today. I'm gonna go. Bye.